smile shines as bright as the stars at night. Her heart is as kind as can be. She has the patience of a saint, but if you push her, oh Lordy. A straight talker is Smiley. She's the salt of the earth. Make no mistake, she matters. Catch Smiley's story on a live stream. Oh boy, that girl can matter. Go Smiley. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Missing posters and stories of heartache and fear. She tells us all of the heartbreaking tears. She can sniff out the guilty from a mile away. If Smiley's on the case, then she's here to stay. She cares about these missing children. She cares deeply about them all. She speaks the truth with integrity. For the truth, she will seek it all. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Smiley's questions are like a heat-seeking missile. She's going straight for the bullseye. Don't ever believe you can fool her. She's too wise, man, she won't comply. She values freedom like the 4th of July. She values respect even more. If you want to earn a place at Smiley's table, watch the clock, it takes time for sure. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you break her trust, you're done for. Trust don't grow back like grass. So don't give Smiley a reason to doubt you, or that friendship will shatter like glass. She's a damn good woman, that much we know. She puts in the hours to bring them kids home. If your child is missing, you want Smiley on the case. She is always willing and she gives so much grace. She's a Smiley, alright. She's a Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you're guilty, you better feel fear.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Hello, welcome, and thank you for being here. It is Wednesday, September 24th, 2025, and it is 2:33 p.m. Central Standard Time. Welcome in, everybody. Hello, Miss Janice. Hello, beautiful. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Stephanie Williams, thank you. Hello. Thank you for being here. Hello, Lisa Thompson. I hope you're doing good, Lisa. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great day too. I hope you're having a good day and know we're still praying for you, honey, because we are. We are. I hope you're doing fine. I hope everybody's doing fine. So, welcome in, everybody. Tell me how your day's been so far. What y'all been doing? Y'all been doing anything interesting? Yeah, prayers. There is so much going on. So pray for everybody around the streets that needs them, and people we know and people we don't know, because definitely everybody needs prayers. Prayers never hurt anybody, right? And that's a fact. That's a fact. But I hope everybody's doing good today. Gosh, there is so much breaking on this case. I cannot keep up with it. I promise you I can't. Let's see, Lisa said, I'm going to pull you up here. I'm in a different spot today and I can't. I'm sending out thank you cards next week, Smiley. Thank you so much for everything, especially your prayers and friend. Oh, honey, you are fine. Don't worry about me or us. We love you and you are a part of our family over here. And you've always been good to me, even things people don't know. And so, yeah. And you've always been good to me. My phone. Even things people don't know. Hold on. And why is it on that? Yeah. And you've always. I always forget to turn that off. I'm sorry. But even things people don't know. And so I really appreciate you. And you know that you're always part of our family over here. You know, please know that. And we are always thinking of you. Always. So, welcome. Never forget. Excuse me. So, everybody, I wanted to talk about this case again today, which is going all around the internet. So, some of this stuff I am probably behind on, which is fine. But I do have some fresh information that we're going to watch some videos and stuff as well. But they say that they've released her body back to the family, or her remains, or, back to the family. That come out about an hour or so ago. And there's some other things coming out. I don't know how true they are or not true, but we might or might not get to that. But there's a lot of stuff going on here, a lot of moving parts to this case. I'm just going to tell y'all, I suspect, probably, in my opinion, he will probably go for a ride downtown and be arrested for something, if nothing else, for being, with a minor. That's my thoughts, that's my opinions, and that's what I think. Let me get this out of the way first. I don't know who come in my comment yesterday, because I'm trying to ignore people that don't need it, but I will give you your little 5 minutes. I don't even remember your name. That's how unimportant you are. But somebody wanted to know something I posted about how are they going to get him for what? They don't have anything. And something I said, I don't even know what it was. The post was so stupid. I got to let my dog out, y'all. I'm trying to get up. And I said, well, y'all are going to hear me move. And I said, well, first of all, Genius, whoever that Genius was either a hater or I hope y'all still hear me. Was either a hater or just somebody being a smart ass. But either way, I never, in this case right here, I have never said that David was guilty. I've never accused him of chopping her up, putting him in the car. But it's very, very suspicious, if you ask me. Now, I ain't gonna lie about that, and I don't think any of y'all can. Oh hell, where'd I go? Hold on a minute. Okay, there we go. I don't think any of y'all can deny that. What I did say though is he's definitely, um, definitely, in my opinion, a predator. There's no doubt about that. There is definitely no doubt about that. So again, everybody is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but we do have our public opinion, and we have our opinions and our thoughts here. And I have mine, and you can have yours. Yeah, it could have been, Stephanie. I wasn't worried about it. They wasn't too genius because they didn't obviously read or listen to the whatever it was I put out. I can't even remember now. But they are so unimportant that I can't even remember what the comment was, honestly. But I just told them they was a real genius because, first of all, I never accused anybody in this case, although it looks real suspicious. And if it was a body in my car chopped up, honey, I'd be a little bit worried. I'd be wanting to know why. That's what I'd be wanting to know, why. And I'd be a little bit upset. So that part. But I'm glad they're watching me. I'm glad. I hope they can put a thumbs up. I really do. But moving on, because Smiley has got bigger and better things over here going on. Smiley is not into all the drama. Okay. So that part. But so Celeste, we know she's the victim. Okay. And we know that the Telsa can hold a lot of potentially useful data. And I'm sure that the police and investigators will be working on that. Exactly those questions that you're asking, I am also asking as well. Again, as you know, I feel like I'm a person just like you, and I am, I know I'm a YouTuber, but I don't feel like I'm a YouTuber. And my friend tells me that all the time. She's like, when I talk about creators, I'm not talking about you. I'm like, I know that because I don't feel like that, but it is what it is. I have questions just like y'all. I am human just like y'all. Anybody could do exactly what I do. All you got to do is research and just do it. That's all. It's not, that's all you got to do. It's okay, Lisa. This is a real crazy case, honey. It's a real crazy case. But, I have so many questions too. So we know the victim here is Celeste Rivera Hernandez. I do want to put this out. Hey, Chuchi. Hello, honey. They say, and I have showed something as well, that there are two. Yes, two. Lord, honey, don't ever let there be two Smileys. But I'm just saying, there is two that look almost identical. Okay. I put that out in a short yesterday. I didn't pull it up today because when I get set up, I'm just set up so I don't touch no more buttons, and that's pretty much that. But they do look pretty identical. Now, did he hire a body double? I don't know. People do that all the time. One is 23 years old, and then of course you got the other one, the one that's deceased. Now, here's the thing. They're both named Celeste. They're both named Celeste. And they both have very similar names at the end. Hernandez, and one of them's Hernanda or something like that. I don't know exactly what the other, I can't remember off the top of my head. And I know it gets confusing. So somebody else brought it to my attention. Could he have, and this was a good point, could he have hired a body double and, hung out with her and did this and that with her, as well as the one that is unalived, that was a minor. And then when it all come down, then all he's got to do is go, no, this is Celeste, and she's not a minor. She's 23 or XYZ. Do y'all get what I'm saying? So that was a good point, and I won't dwell on that, but I did want to bring that out to you. So that was something else. But she was barely 15 years old when she was found dismembered inside of David's Tesla, right? So it was a decomposed body, and it was found in an impound in his Tesla, registered to the singer. He goes by D4VD, but his name is David Anthony Burke. And he was not the least bit fazed. He was not, that was not a red flag to him. I would have been freaking out. The LAPD identified the body of the girl in his car registered to him, the car of the one that sang Romantic Homicide, the singer that he's famous for, Romantic Homicide, D4VD. She went missing on 2024 at age 13. Identified her as Celeste. Right? Chuchi said, when I do research on this, okay, I know, and it's something every twist and turn. Every twist and turn. It is horrible. So she's the victim, but who is David? David Anthony Burke. He was professionally, for those that don't know, he was known again as D4VD. That's how I wrote his name. And he was evidently a popular, I don't see nothing popular about him, but a lot of people did. A lot of people did. Okay? And I guess that's their thing. I didn't know there was so many people out there in the world that like that kind of thing. But anyway, he's 20 years old now. He's a singer and songwriter, and he was born in Queens, New York. He began releasing his music on a platform in Audio Sound and posting this to his YouTube channel in 2021. And yes, he still has, as far as I can tell, the YouTube channel is still up. Haven't seen any activity on it, but it's still been up. The first music video he posted was a song, again, called Romantic Homicide in September 2022. As of this Thursday, y'all, I want y'all to know, this video had 179 million views on YouTube. Now, that's from all of us looking. So he skyrocketed. Again, yesterday we talked about famous, infamous. I guess either way you look at it. Yeah, his Fortnite name is Judge. Absolutely, Chuchi. And thank you for that. Chuchi sent me some information. His Fortnite name is Judge. J-U-D. Or I'm saying it wrong. Not Judge. J-U-Q-O-E. Sorry, let me put that up there. That light's in my eye. Sorry. Yeah, let me put that up there a minute. And thank you for that. I did look at that. And I'll probably get into that in the next live. But yeah. And he made a lot of money off of that as well. He did. But he started out, in my opinion, creepy. But that's just me. Okay? That's just me. Oh, hold on. It's my husband. What does he want? Okay, hold on. He wants food. Can I hold on just 1 second? I can't do 20 things at once. I told them I'm going live. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Sorry. Hold on. He's also ordering something to eat. Okay, so let me see. Sorry, y'all. I just can't talk and do this at the same time. I get all confused. Can't talk and chew bubble gum at the same time. Okay. Okay. All right. Done. Don't. Okay. Done. Thank you. Done. Okay. So, yeah. But anyway, let me turn that down because I can't think. But yeah. So he made a lot of money. He made a lot of money on Fortnite, on the game, and it's a character. And if you're not watching, if your kids, if you have kids, they've probably played this or are playing it or something like that. But you got to be careful because they can get in these discords, and these discords are so dangerous. They really are. And I guarantee you, if you have kids or grandkids, they're going to know exactly what you're talking about if you mention Fortnite. Hello, Raymond. Thank you for being here. Just got home. Boy, I bet you're tired. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming in. Nothing like a smiley breakfast. No, I'm kidding. Welcome in. A smiley breakfast mixed with a little bit of tragedy. Golly. Lord, have mercy. You started at 2. Goodness gracious. Yeah, that's some hard hours until you get used to them. We used to work like 3 to whatever in the 3 in the morning, but then you had to get up at like 12 or 1 to get ready and all that stuff. It's crazy. Cray. Especially for us women, you know. But then it's like, I don't like that because it's like your whole day's gone, in my opinion. But yeah. But he said, okay, so Raymond, Raymond, I'm fixing to put you up here as a Tesla tragedy, honey. Not Raymond. David said in an interview he was homeschooled, and I stated there as well that I didn't think that was good, at least for him. I don't know. The more things that we find out in these crimes, the more we're finding out that a lot of these kids are homeschooled. Maybe that's something we need to take a look at. I don't know. But he said in his own words in an interview, he was homeschooled and he started writing his own music in his little sister's closet, right? So that would be great, honestly. And a pat attaboy on the back, it would just be marvelous of all you could accomplish doing that and make something of yourself, and went on to do great things in your life if you actually went on to do great things in your life. I don't see that here. That's just my opinion. I don't see that he went to do great things in his life. Look at him now. And what did he do prior? Hustled up young girls. Pedo behavior. Grooming. Y'all think that's good? He had a little sister also. Again, he would sit in her closet and write the music. Again, all this is in my opinion, of course, but David also went on TikTok and he got a lot of fame and stardom, so to speak, with another song here. And it's called Here With Me. The video for which he released on YouTube in November 2022, as of Thursday, that one has played 244 million views. The lyrics from that song, which went viral, let me just tell you. Oh, thank you, Raymond. Hold on a minute. Thank you, Raymond. Raymond gifted somebody a membership, and I moved my computer today. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let me just give you some smiley love. Thank you, Raymond. Whoop, whoop. Raymond gifted somebody a membership. Welcome to the Smiley Squad. Welcome to the Smiley Squad. Thank you, Raymond. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Not Crazy. Hello, hello. Mandy, it looks like Mandy got that. Welcome, Mandy. Welcome to Smiley Squad. So it's got like 244 million views, right? And the lyrics from that song, are y'all ready for that? I don't care how long it takes, as long as I'm with you, I got a smile on my face. Okay, that one don't sound so bad, right? A lot of people want to know what he's saying. But fame and greed might have caused him all of that. And it still might. It hasn't yet. He's skyrocketing now. Hey, Holly. Welcome, welcome. But he's bigger right now. But that storm will die down. And then what? And then what? And again, that's only in my opinion. David, from what I can tell, he recorded that song in his sister's closet. The first one, July 2022. By early September, the song had been used more than 245,000 clips on TikTok alone. And a live version of the song with its accompanying visualizer was released in December 8th, 2023. So who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk so many people in this world would want to hear that song? So here are the words to some of that song. And I want you to listen. I'm going to read it to you. It says, in the back of my mind, you died. And I didn't even cry. Not a single tear. And I'm sick of waiting patiently for someone that won't even arrive. Oh, 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 oh. In the back of my mind, I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's still true. I hate you. So he wrote that. Who was he talking to? How did he get so much hate in his heart? And who is he really? And who is he really mad at? And who is he really hating on? Romantic homicide, the whole entire thing, he wrote those words. He wrote them. Nobody didn't write them for them. There was no other songwriter. There was no other person that said, hey, David, here's a song I think you can do. He sat in his sister's closet and he thought them words up. They come from him, his head, and his heart. They're his words. And he wrote that song and he turned it into a album, whatever. And at that time, he would have been approximately about 17 years old. My God. I would say, did nobody notice? But that part would not be fair if I said that. Because he said in his own words, his own self, in an interview that I saw with my own eyes, he said that his own mother, she said, my son writing about killing, I forgot how it was, but writing about killing or murdering someone, something to that effect. And that's when he said it clicked. Boom. My mom wasn't for it, so I'm all for it. Right? Whatever she thinks, I'm going to do the opposite. Hey, Dawn. So it can't be fair when that come out of his own mouth. But there has to be signs that she noticed something was wrong, in my opinion. Now, here's where Smiley gets raw. Here's where Smiley gets real. I still want to say, on the other hand, too bad, in my opinion, she saw the dollar signs. See, I'm going to say what nobody else will say. Smiley will say it, okay? So y'all just sit back and bite your tongues. She saw the dollar signs rolling in, and she figured, hey, in my opinion, it's okay. He'll be 18 soon. He's rolling in the dough now. It's all going to be all right. Let him be famous. Let him get into his music. Because honestly, she should have had him checked out. And there's a reason that I'm saying all that. Now, she saw stuff, in my opinion. She chose not to see. And I don't like to ever blame any parents. I don't. And I don't know the situation here. But here is some real stuff right here. She chose not to see, okay, to be fair. But things like this, she had to have some type of warning, right? She should have been the one that was the most aware at all times of him. Remember, he was homeschooled, right? So, was he homeschooling himself? Just asking. Now, let's ask why. Okay? I'm trying to look at your comments. I heard today that I can't prove it, but there's a lot of talk and whispers, and you know how that goes. But it don't make it true, so I'll say that. But I've heard today that he liked hurting things, such as animals and things like that. Then we got some videos that I saw myself with my own eyes, okay? And that was on the TikTok video where he was chopping up that chicken, right? He was chopping up that chicken. And when he was chopping up that chicken and acting crazy and doing all that crazy talk, I mean, what did that really mean? I don't know. So what I have to ask is, why was he homeschooled, number one? Was his little sister homeschooled? Or was it just him because he had problems? That's why I say his mother should have known. Okay, I think, in my opinion, I think there was some red flags going on there. I don't know, but it would be interesting to know. Now, they say before David even got into music, he was a huge computer whiz and all that kind of stuff. And they say that's, the games and Fortnite and all that stuff, and coding, did the coding and all that. And that's why she let him homeschool, to have more time to build his computers. And later on, that's when he started his music career. And that's why his mom homeschooled him, allegedly. Well, I'm finding there may be a little bit of difference to that. I don't know. But to allow him more time with those things, where did it take a dark turn? That's what I want to know. Where did it take a dark turn? They also say they had difficulty. that he had difficulty paying attention in school, in a public school. So homeschooling gave him the time to play, and this was the words, time to play video games and create content, which eventually led to his musical endeavors. Okay, so what I want to know is, what I wonder, and I can't help it, I'm sorry, is was he ever seen by a doctor for any of these red flags or any of his behavior or anything like that? And still, why was he homeschooled? Because I didn't realize that you get rewarded to stay home and play video games and something you love, even though if it's going to be a career, well, we'll just take you out of school and we'll homeschool you. And you can play video games all day and stay on the computer, and that's cool. So let's just go ahead and get in your sister's closet and let's write songs also on top of it about murders and killings and all the things. Is that okay? The world's gone crazy. Don said, let me pull it up here. Main act arrest. I believe that there is going, let's see, spectate in Oregon in the Weirdos Hollywood September 1st video. This as well. And I believe, excuse me, and I believe that eventually, I believe they're going to lock him up. I believe that he will, whether it'll stick or not, I don't know. There's some interesting video that I want to show you here in a minute that I found. But while homeschooling, what I want to know is being isolated, and David found, the community and the discords and all that, and engaging with all these other gamers. How many minors was it? That can be a dangerous thing for your child. Just please keep an eye out on that. That's the biggest takeaway from that. But David himself said he was influenced by Christian music. I saw that on an interview he did. But he couldn't be more opposite from Christian or Christian music. I think from his own words, everything his mom ever did, he tried to always do the opposite. For him, in my opinion, only a strong dislike. He had a strong dislike for women. That's my what I'm thinking, and I don't know why. I would like to know why, because I'm not a doctor or psychologist, but to me, that's what it seems like. And instead of taking that dislike out at home or on whoever, or just plain hating himself, maybe he wrote it down in his words, in his songs, put pencil to paper, but also went in these discords and took it out on the most vulnerable and these young girls. Just saying. And from what I found on Daily News, also David's manager was the one renting his house for David. That's why I ain't signing my name to nothing for nobody. I'm just saying. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. But there are reports on several outlets. His name is Josh Marshall, and he was renting the home. Photos of which the 20-year-old romantic homicide David lived in. He rented it for him. I don't understand. David was of age. I can understand co-signing if he never had anything before, but he's got all that money. He could have put up a huge deposit, $20,000 a month. Why was it in the manager's name? I don't know. I just don't know. But I'm sure if the manager had nothing to do with nothing, he's not a happy camper right now. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. How did the manager not know that Celeste or any of these young girls was not there? You gonna sign your name on something, a lease, a bond, a car, a blah blah blah, whatever in life, in real life, and you're not gonna keep an eye on it? No, get the heck out of here. Get out of here. I don't care how much you trust somebody. I don't care if it's your own mama. I don't care if it's your own child. It ain't gonna work that way. You're gonna be checking. That's why I feel also the way that I feel about all these gadgets being on David's Tesla. Alarms, all the buttons, all the apps, all the things. Why did he never know his car was moved, being used? It don't matter if he told his grandmama to go down there and use it. I would still want to know where my car is. That's, did you have such a disregard for money or anything that you didn't care about your stuff, your own stuff? Bullshit. I say bullshit. Again, his real name is David Anthony Burke. And, Celeste, she's the victim. She was found chopped up in his car. She didn't do it to herself. She didn't put herself in that bag. And then she didn't hop on over there and throw herself in that frunk, which is the trunk or whatever it's called. So was this convenient? I don't know. David's manager, was he on tour with him? I don't know. I just want to know, in my questioning, why he didn't know some stuff. Hey, Cyber Warrior. Hey, everybody coming in. And why he didn't manage things a little bit better with his own household, with the household his name was on as a lease for $20,000 a month. I don't care if you live in California. I don't care if you're a movie star. $20,000 is not just a chunk of change. You can say, oh, and I don't know, I can't get to the bottom of how much time they had left on the lease, but they'll be responsible for that. He probably also had a code to David's home and a key to his car and the code to his car. And in my opinion, he probably had the app on his phone. Now, what I'm getting at here is this. If so, whether he was there or not, why did he not know? Why did he not notice? How come nobody noticed? Nobody that car was moved several times. David was on tour. How convenient. But his shit's moving around. Pretty strange, don't you think? Because I do. And I'm sure he had a bodyguard. But, that's more personal safety and protecting him and protecting his things and, sometimes overseeing his values, such as cars and stuff like that. What I'm getting at is, look, did David or did somebody turn all these apps off of that car? Was these car alarms and these apps disassembled some point in time? I don't know. That's going to be for law. But now, Tesla has notifications. They set up alerts to tell you everything. And you can do it on your phone, your computer, whatever. So why no notifications? Why no alarms? Why nothing? I'm also interested in the tow yard. Did the tow yard call and say, oh shit, this car belongs to David? Which, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's only about a block from his house. Oh shit, this is David's car. We better call and let them know his car's been towed in. After they run tag or everything. But it wasn't until they smelled that foul odor and realized a body was in the car. Right? So, did they try to get a hold of him? Did he answer? He just wasn't shocked for a body being in his car at all. He just kept on doing everything he was doing. I want to thank you, everybody, for coming in. I want to go to, let me see here, play something for y'all. I don't know which one this is. I don't know if I can get it up. I'm not sure I can get this one up. Hold on. Oh, this is the one. Oh, this is the one Matt was talking about today. I got a video on that. Okay, so see this video right here? They're saying that this is her right here. And this is his brother in Maryland on the 24th. Backstage with his brother Caleb. And they say this would allegedly, see, she's in the black tank top and jeans. See her right here? Kind of dancing, I guess. And then 2 weeks later, she would be found dead. So that was some of the new, let me get that down. So that was some of the new information. Oh shit, hold on. Okay, I always scared I'm gonna lose y'all. Hey, Woman's Warrior. Welcome in, honey. Welcome in. Hadn't seen you in a while. So was y'all able to see that? Yes, that's Oregon. That's the Oregon tour. Okay. Yeah, and if he took her across state line. Okay, so let me see if I can find Matt's. Hold on a minute. Let's see. Hold on a minute. Because this is updated information. I think this is it. This is updated.
Guys, I've been seeing all of your comments. I've been looking into this, and I want to discuss now. A lot
Hold
of
on, I don't
people
know if y'all can hear that.
think that Celeste was spotted at David's concert on August 23rd, 2025, in Silver Springs, Maryland, standing on a balcony watching the show with David's brother. If this is actually Celeste, this changes everything. This is a screenshot right here, very zoomed in, and this right here is actually a video clip. Now, this is what David's brother actually looks like. And this is a side by side of the guy standing next to this girl and David's brother. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Now, if we zoom into the female who's standing next to this guy on the balcony, who David seems to be like pointing at a couple of times while he's performing, she's wearing blue jeans and a black tube top. Remember, Celeste was wearing a black tube top, but she was wearing black leggings when she was found in David's Tesla. So did something happen to her at some point after this show? Maybe not this specific night, but is it possible that she could have somehow flown back to California, maybe in more comfortable clothes, threw the tube top on, maybe put black leggings on for travel? If this is Celeste and if David was responsible for her death, I'm pretty sure that they would have had to fly out on August 25th. Celeste was at the show on the 23rd. David picked up another show in Silver
See, and they could have got a private plane.
On the 24th. So he performed in Maryland the 23rd, the 24th. He
That's
had the
not crazy.
25th off. So he could have hypothetically flown to California again with Celeste when something maybe went wrong. Because after his August 25th break, he performs again in Ohio, then he performs in Mass, and he's pretty much performing every night until her body is ultimately found on September 5th. Now, while some neighbors said that the car had been sitting there where it was for about a month, which would indicate that David may have parked it there before going on tour, some people said that they noticed the car parked there a week or two prior to it being towed away on the 5th. So let's just say this is Celeste, hypothetically. If she's alive on the 23rd, David's next day off from performing is the 25th. The two of them fly back to California. Something happens. He puts her in a bag, puts her in the Tesla, abandons the Tesla a block and a half away from where he is renting property. This kind of could correlate with some of the neighbors saying that they noticed the car abandoned where it was before it was towed about a week and a half to 2 weeks prior to it being towed. And if she was put in there on the 25th, then that would mean that she was in the vehicle, in the hot vehicle, for 14 days. Would that actually correspond to what the medical examiner's statement was, which was that the decedent was found severely decomposed inside a vehicle on September 8th, 2025. She appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. Is 14 days considered an extended period of time? Possibly. And could this theory be further confirmed by Celeste's brother Matthew, who was reached out to via IG DMs and asked once her body was
Hey, Tina.
identified how long she's been deceased? And he said 2 weeks. If we take when she was found on the 8th and go back 2 weeks, that puts us at exactly August 25th, 2025. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments and make sure to follow. I'll be sure to update you guys as I find stuff out and as stuff is made.
Y'all go over and sign up to Matt. He's got a YouTube and a TikTok. He's very smart. I like Matt. He's to me, he's very smart. He's very intelligent. But I agree. That could work. It definitely could work. And again, they could have had a private plane. We don't know, or a friend of a friend. I mean, you know, we don't know these things. I did look it up. Sometimes in legal, they say 6 months for extended periods, but 2 weeks can be an extended period. It depends on how people are using it for their lingo and stuff like that. That's really what it depends on. So we don't know how that the law enforcement meant that, but that could work. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see. I'm not sure about this one either. Hold on. Oh yeah. This is this one. Okay, we're gonna watch this one. Hold on.
Got a lot of new information regarding the David case.
Sure so.
Celeste's body has officially been released by the LAPD. New reports suggest David may have been buying fake IDs for Celeste, and the homeowner of the Beverly Hills mansion that David was living in confirmed there was in fact CCTV placed all around. So hopefully they should capture whoever murdered Celeste. We should be getting a breakthrough soon, so let's get into it. So what I think is the most interesting news story that broke was about Celeste potentially having fake IDs, and who was buying them for her. So here this article posted exclusive information by TMZ, Cops Eye Runaway Past, Troubled Home Life. So as we know, she ran away multiple times. Her teacher stated in that clip that the police already got her from David's home once already, but then she just ran away again and went back to him. Our sources say homicide detectives believe there's lots of evidence Celeste comes from a troubled home and that may have triggered her desire to run away. Now here's where it gets interesting. Our sources say the way Celeste was able to navigate on her own was by having multiple fake IDs in an attempt to present much older than she was. Now look, fake IDs are not cheap, and as we know, Celeste came from a troubled home, meaning she probably didn't have a lot of money, she wasn't getting any pocket money. money. And these fake IDs, I'm not sure how much they are in the US, but I'm presuming like $100 minimum, maybe a couple hundred. Let's say like $100. And she's not getting that money on her own. She can't work. She's like 13, 12. She was 14 like in 2025, but I doubt she was working. Now, you know who has a lot of money and we have proof was sending her money? David. We literally have iMessage text that show Celeste asking for 10 racks and David sent her 9,000. So potentially David was buying these fake IDs for her, or she used the money that David gave her to buy the fake IDs. And I'm not sure why she would need them. I'm presuming to get into clubs and stuff like that, potentially with David. If she wanted to get to certain events with David, she needed an ID. And he actually has some very cool footage. It's of all the unmarked police cars at David's mansion. And if we skim through, I think this is the area that Tesla was discovered. Oh yeah, and this is David's house. Look, they check in the garage. Then there's a bunch of unmarked police cars, police officers, detectives, investigators. They're doing some swabs, it seems like there. But yeah, a lot of police. I'm presuming this was like a couple of days ago when the home was raided. Seems like there's another vehicle inside. Maybe that was the manager's car. But yeah, we don't really see what's going on. Like, we know they're testing for blood, for DNA, any potential evidence that could show us what happened to Celeste. That's another test they're doing. They're shaking it. I don't know. I remember in science class, you have to shake stuff and then it would show the results.
See, I think fake IDs probably be $200 or $300, maybe $500, depending on. And two, a lot of people overcharge. Could that be what the pictures were when I said maybe it was a video he could have been? I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was at the beginning, but it could have been a lot of things. He could have been trading, for fake ID, anything. We don't know. Again, it could have been for a video. It could have been for anything. But here's the thing, it and in California, man, you can get up to, if you're caught with a fake ID, you can get a fine up to $10,000 and you can get jail time. So is it worth it? I don't know. But in this case, it went above and beyond any fake IDs, if you ask me. I'm just saying. But yeah, it happens. It happens everywhere. It happens. Let's see. Not all models come with paid zero cameras. That didn't overwrite the data. Right. But they can still get whatever data they need and stuff like that. And I'm sure they're working really hard on that. I really am. I don't know. I mean, this is crazy. It's a crazy case.
And they're wearing like blue gloves. So these guys are like the I don't know, the detective DNA people who are doing all science, fancy science stuff. So this is actually another good point. It's apparent police think Celeste might have been killed inside the home David was staying at because they obtained a search warrant allowing them to search for blood evidence inside the residence. Hello. We do not know what, if anything, police discovered. And the police, of course, have not revealed if they have a suspect. However, obviously, that's not really good news. We haven't got any good news regarding, like, have they found anything? Is David a suspect? Because right now, it looks like he might get away with it because they don't have a cause of death. There's no good evidence. However, the homeowner said, house has external cameras, security cameras, can't enter, exit undetected. So Mladen Trifunovic was the guy that owned the home that David's manager was renting. And look, these are the CCTV cameras. So this is like the front door. And then these are the ones in front of the garage. The homeowner says the cameras.
So did somebody disable the cameras? Because I did hear, and I don't know the details on it because there's so much going on around. I heard that there was a reported break-in or alarm went off or something. I don't know when that was. I don't know if any of y'all know or not. I'm not sure. But the reason I stopped it, I didn't stop just for that. The reason I stopped it, I was going to ask Dawn. Dawn, are you close to this? I know you're in California. I was just wondering if you're close to this one too or anything. Because that would be interesting if you got out that way or anything to video. I'm just wondering. that, but I just happened to think of that. Oh, we love Don. We love Don. But now, unfortunately, you are. Oh my God, he said, unfortunately, yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, Don. Yeah, well, you're more than welcome to ever show us anything or whatever you can. But because this is complicated, this is really complicated. But so what do y'all think about the alarms on the house though, and the cameras? At least the cameras. And y'all are gonna hear my dog snoring. She wouldn't stay in there. Do y'all think which they'll be able to tell? Do you think that why maybe she wasn't harmed there? I don't know. I mean, what do y'all think? What are y'all thinking right now? Why did no cameras at the home or anything pick up anything? Or was new cameras installed at a certain time? People can install their own cameras. They don't need a company, really. I'm wondering how tech savvy. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I mean, this is crazy. Was she put out that way? I don't know. You been to California lately? She come from there, so who knows? Just kidding. I don't know. I have no clue.
Oppositions at entry points in the backyard and on the street, and he believes people cannot go in or out of the house without being recorded. So let's say Celeste was killed inside the house. I'm presuming David would get her through the garage, and then the test will be parked inside the garage or at the front. So it'll be shown on this CCTV camera or this CCTV camera of him leaving the house and driving Celeste down the street, if he did it. Now, the homeowner says he doesn't have access to the security footage. He doesn't want his tenants to think he's spying on them. And when tenants move in, he gives them the info for the security company and they create their own account to access the cameras. The landlord says LAPD has not told him anything about the investigation or if cops obtain security footage, but he doesn't see why police wouldn't get their hands on the video. Yet the police have definitely already got that video. They've already subpoenaed the security company 110%. There's no way they're not. Now, I feel like this would give us a breakthrough. If David's leaving his house randomly at 4 a.m., dragging a black bag with him, or I don't know, even just leaving the house at 4 a.m. and then they track him using the neighbor's cameras or like Ring doorbells to see him driving down the road and dumping the car and presumably walking back. Now, look, a lot of people have been concerned about that there's no cause of death and that this may help David get away. However, there's actually still a possibility that he may get charged and arrested if they don't find a cause of death, and this smart guy here is going to explain it to us.
Thought somebody was murdered, and it turned out later it was an OD. We had one once where the person committed suicide, it turned out. So we don't know yet. Now, she was dismembered.
Now, that's a good theory. What if Celeste ended her own life, or she OD'd by accident? And, well, David didn't want a dead child inside his house, so he put her in his trunk and hid her body. Now, this guy said she was dismembered. Apparently, that's not actually true. And apparently, the only reason they said it was dismembered is because the body fell apart due to it being decomposed so badly.
Certainly didn't do that to herself, but we don't know from the coroner's office yet exactly if they have a cause of death, what it was. We don't know. And I'm going to suspect a dismembered, heavily decomposed body like that, it's going to be tough to tell. There are certain telltale signs depending on what was in there, what they actually recovered. But at this point, we don't know. But I think in this one, given the high profile nature, they're devoting the resources and they're doing it right. And the detectives, I've worked with this unit before, and these are hard hitting, no nonsense women and men at the LAPD who know what they're doing. So they're doing all of that stuff. They're going through the computers. They have forensically worked up that house, probably top to bottom. They're looking for her DNA. They're looking on any instruments that may have been used to dismember her. I've already seen some of the conspiracy theories come out, and one of the questions I saw is, who would be stupid enough to put the dead body in the trunk of their own car? And the answer to that is most murderers. Most people, especially when they kill for the first time, make a million mistakes. And this
Wow, that's actually kind of crazy, because people are saying like there's no way it's David, or why would he put the body in his own trunk? Well, as this guy says, who is clearly in that field, he knows what he's talking about. Apparently, the majority of first-time murderers make a lot of mistakes. They probably did it without thinking, and now the only place they can put it is their trunk. So apparently this is quite common. And even though David is a celebrity, at the end of the day, he's still a normal human who makes human mistakes.
But I don't
and
think
one of these were putting the dead girl he possibly killed, allegedly killed, in his trunk, just like all the other first-time murderers.
I think that what's happening in addition to the forensic stuff right now is they are doing gumshoe police work, and they are interviewing every single person they can find that was in his orbit, that knew about their relationship, what the circumstances were, if any. And it certainly sounds, I mean, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence right now indicating that there had been some sort of close relationship between them.
I have 20 seconds, but I've got to get you on the record here. If they can't come up with a cause of death, is that brutal for this case?
No, you can still prosecute. If you can certainly prosecute. I mean, I did 5 no body cases where we had no exact cause of death either. So you can certainly do it. But it does throw a wrinkle in there. If you've just got a decomposed, torso, or depending on what's available, what I would be asking if I was them is the hyoid bone. That's a bone in the neck that's consistent with strangulation. That's something that doesn't go away with decomposition. I'm sure they're looking at that. If it's true that her head was recovered, they can find what's called petechial hemorrhaging in her eyes, indicating strangulation. Bones will leave marks concerning stabbing. So the forensic pathology here is going to be very interesting. And again, the coroners in LA County are the real deal. They know what they're doing. So we'll have to see.
And let's hope, let's hope that they do all.
Okay, so I was actually saying, like, if you strangled her, then, that might not be visible on the skin, but it seems like, yes, you can actually see it from the bone in her neck or something along those lines. And this guy said, apparently the LA coroners are the real deal. It's a major city. They're probably very well paid and the best of the best people. So I don't see how they could mess this up, maybe they will, but I just don't understand how they could not find the cause of death. I mean, as this guy said, he had 5 cases before where there was no cause of death. However, they still went forward with them. So even though they don't find a cause of death for Celeste, I think they're still going to go ahead with it simply because of so much social media evidence. They're probably going to interview a lot of people around him. And also, she was found in his car. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, they also sweep his entire place. They're going to find some type of DNA or something along those lines there. Some type of blood, weapon maybe. Aside from that, Celeste's body has finally been released to her family. It seems like they finished doing her in the investigation with her body. They've probably done all that they can. They probably sent off the liquids and all the other testing kind of stuff. They've sent that off. It's going to take like a month or 2 for that to come back. But the body's finally been released to her family. And Celeste's family can now claim her remains. Now, in other news, he actually made his Fortnite profile private, which means you can't see him like if he's playing anymore, which we actually could see that prior. So it seems like he's scouring Reddit and Twitter, and he saw that people are checking his Fortnite profile. Now, this is actually quite weird. So some closer shots of Celeste at the concert on the 25th of August at Silver Springs. So David did in fact have a concert at this date, and some people think this is Celeste on the balcony next to his brother. Here she is again. Now, she's actually wearing a black tube top, and you know what Celeste was wearing when her body was discovered, a black tube top. And it makes sense, she's backstage with her brother. Here's like an AI enhanced picture, and it kind of looks like her. And another guy on Twitter actually showed that David was waving to her, and then even showed a love heart to her. As you can see here, he showed a little love heart. So it seems like that was her at this show on the 25th of August. Now, I'm not sure, this is not 100%. And we've seen her backstage at concerts before with her brother. So does that mean she was killed late August, start of December? It's so confusing. Like, I genuinely have no idea what happened. I have no idea how the police are going to solve this. Here's another picture comparing them to. It's very low quality, and YouTube is probably going to compress the quality and make it look even worse, but it does kind of look like her. Same curly hair, wearing a black tube top, which is what she was wearing when she was discovered. Similar facial features, you get the point. Now, here it gets even weirder. At a concert he had on the 18th of September 2024, over a year ago, he had these AI images, and it looks like this is him and Celeste, and they grew older together. Like, what? This is literally Celeste. She's got kind of that darker, kind of Hispanic skin and the curly hair that she had. And then this is David, and they're kind of together sleeping, and they grew old together. Very weird considering she's 14 years old, but that is definitely her. This is sick as hell. I hope he gets what he deserved. Now, this gets really weird. In December of 2024, this guy on TikTok would actually expose David of meeting up with kids and paying them to stay hush about his relationship with a kid. I'll play you guys a clip.
Popular artist got caught giving thousands of dollars to kids. Now, why did he do this? To hide his little secret of him dating a minor. Yup. Who knows if he's still dating this minor. And people commenting, proof. Why the fuck else would he randomly go unnoticed, no one knows about this, to meet kids, bring them canes, give them thousands of dollars? Why else would he do that? Why else would any celebrity do that? You know exactly why. And I'm not just guessing here. This is a picture from someone who knew the girl, and they told me this story.
Yeah, wow. So, of course, this was a year ago, before anyone knew about this, before her body was found, before anyone knew who she was. And this guy knew. He tried to post a video, but it seems like people doubted him. I can't get over how many people knew. I mean, this video was posted almost 9 months prior to her body being found, and 4 months prior to him playing at Coachella, Just Wild. Yeah, it's crazy how many people actually knew, yet no one really did anything about it, or maybe it was more so of the police ignoring it, and that her family didn't care. Maybe her family even encouraged it, because as we spoke about in my last video, her family may have wanted her to be with him because he was rich, this rich superstar celebrity who could have taken a family out of poverty. Now, here's some kind of exclusive information these guys posted, the Leonard Files. Car was noted to observe for parking citation on the 27th of August. NBCLA, the Leonard Files, posted their own investigation into the case and discovered interesting information about the Tesla. A city worker initially noticed and marked the car for a 72-hour observation on August 27th. That means Celeste could have absolutely been at the Maryland show August 24th, and it still fit the timeline. It was noted for the 72 hours expiring on the 3rd. And then finally impounded. There's waiting periods between citation and towing. So she may have actually been murdered very late on, late August, after that Maryland show, which was on the balcony with her brother, with David's brother, and it kind of fits in as we got this parking ticket here, or citation. So the Maryland show was on the 24th, this citation was on the 27th. So let's say they went home after the Maryland show. He killed her around the 25th to 26th, 27th maybe. And the citation expired on the 3rd. So what, it got towed on the 3rd or the 4th, then it was at the impound on that day, let's say the 3rd or the 4th, and then it smelled badly, and then the body was discovered on the 8th. That means it decomposed for 10 days, which seems about right. In the LA heat, bodies decompose very fast. The heat speeds up the process. So this kind of fits in with the timeline, because by day 10, day 11, that body would have smelled very badly. Now, I want to read some of this SF Investigates post on Twitter, because he actually has some very good information and has done a deep dive into this case. So this is one of his theories. One possibility to consider in the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez is that there are no homicide charges. If Celeste suffered an overdose and they panicked and hid the body because it would expose David as a pedo, see what I did there, David?
Yeah, it was
then that would be abuse of corpse and concealment of an accidental death, not homicide. Because again, let's say she did overdose, some people are questioning like, well, why wouldn't he just call the paramedics or whatever? Well, because that would mean a dead child that he was dating was found in the mansion of a superstar, a celebrity, which would also probably destroy his career, as it would look very bad. While manner of death, natural homicide, accidental suicide undetermined, can be ruled at any time, the cause of death will not be determined until the toxicology results are back, which could take 60 to 100 days, assuming they were able to get a sample. A crime absolutely happened here. She didn't put herself in the Tesla, but it doesn't mean it's homicide automatically. And actually, another thing to say, it would also look terrible because it means he was given drugs to a kid, which would probably lead to his career being tarnished even worse. If he didn't die at the hands of someone else and was placed there after the fact, then it's a different crime. See guys, this is concerning because as this guy said, it could take 60 to 100 days for the toxicology report. So it means we might not get another update for this case for another 100 days. Well, this guy said it's 60 to 120 days. And I actually researched why it takes so long. Well, it's simply because firstly, there's like a big backlog and they just have a lot to get through. Pretty much every death that happens, they have to do a test for. And also simply there's a lot of testing to do and it's just crazy. That's why it takes so long. And that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. It seems like we're pretty much hit a wall.
All right, so here's the thing. Let's say that it was something she did or it was an accident that she caused and he thought he had to do that. Okay. So what is wrong with people? Why don't they just pick up the phone and dial 911? Okay, because they're going to get in trouble for, first of all, she's a minor. Second of all, well, look what kind of trouble you're in now, dude. And this is for anybody in the future. Let's hope there's no future more cases like this, but I'm sure there's going to be. Simply pick up the phone and dial 911. You know, I don't think he's too bright. I just don't. He can write music and he can do all the things, but the common sense is lacking, in my opinion. Hey, Pink Phoenix. Yes, it is very chilling. All of his music is so chilling, but, you know, it's very telling, in my opinion. And I think he had a lot of hate. This is just me and my opinion and what I've kind of observed and come through. I think he has a lot of hate or disdain for women. That's just me. But who and why, I don't know. And I think he puts it down on music, paper to pen, and directs it towards younger, vulnerable women. And now this is hearsay. I heard that there's more. If anybody's heard different, let me know. I've heard that there's other people possibly coming out underage. I don't know, underage people. So that is a possibility. I encourage anyone that has had any run-ins with him or is scared or was a minor that fears that maybe they weren't supposed to do something or whatever, you know, I hope that they will call the law and report this or tell their parents. I hope their parents, if their parents listen or hear, if you do nothing else, please don't let this turn into no P. Diddy bullshit. Please listen to your kids. Listen to them when they tell you something, okay? And, you know, we also have the LA Police Department anonymous tip line, which is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can call that. And that number, by the way, is 877 LAPD 24/7. But the phone number is 1-877-527-3247. They also have the LA Crime Stoppers there. And, you know, they give you numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, numbers and stuff. Even when you collect your money and all that, you can't, it's very private. And if you know something and you need to submit something, their LA Crime Stoppers is 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. They even have a text number on there, which is for the LAPD, and they do follow up with that. The text would be 27468. 637. I think that's a very important text to have, even for children. 274637. You know, listen, a Telsa does not just move itself. I don't know who was doing the moving and grooving besides him on stage when this all come to him and said, hey, there's a dead body in your car. And it didn't faze him. He kept shaking and baking. But listen, right here, a Telsa does not move itself. And if you got cars that can move themselves, let me know, because I thought they turned off when they were moved. I know you can start them by themselves, but listen, honey, if that's got some stuff, let me know. But anyway, just saying, they don't just move themselves, and child doesn't just disappear, and justice don't just happen on its own. We got to stand straight and keep her name out here and everything. We got to keep the pressure on. I don't know who did this to her. I don't know if he did it. I don't know if he's being set up. You know, I'm not sitting here banging the pavement, but it is that he did it. He did it. But I'm telling you what are the alternatives? And listen, if he did not do that, I still hope I see an arrest, because he is nothing more than a pedo. People, he's nothing more than a pedo. Period. And you cannot rehabilitate him. Or is he going to be rewarded for doing his music and getting blown up and making all kinds of money because he wants to be, because he's going to be infamous for this crime and known for this crime of, if something happened to her, like that guy just said, and maybe he felt he had to, well, you know, see, he went to extra lengths. You see what I'm saying? He went to extra lengths. So I feel like there's charges coming. Again, I'm no cop. The remains were given back to her family, as you heard. We're waiting on report. Now, they'll have a prelim reports. I don't know how long those take, that we're not going to have to wait 30, 60, 90 days on. They'll get the prelims back and know whether they should arrest him or not. But I'm telling you, if you know something, or you saw something, or if you think you know something, don't stay silent. Call it in. Call it in. Because if you don't, he's just going to get fat and happy and keep on doing whatever he's doing in life and do this to God knows who. What other minors, if something did happen to her, overdose or this, that, and the other. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. And let's say he didn't do something, but it was her accident, drug, whatever. Who provided her with that? Would he go out and provide others with that? Yes, I think so. Absolutely. So, do the right thing. And the ones in power, hear me. Hear me, LA. Loud and clear. All I have to say is the world is watching you. All eyes are on you. All eyes are on you. I'll say it the smiley way. Do it right. Don't do what's easy. Do it right. Thank you all for being here with me. Thank you for standing for justice. Thank you for standing for the voiceless. And until next time, stay safe, stay loud, and I'll see you in the streets. YouTube streets, that is. I think of the hillbillies every time I say that. YouTube streets, that is. Y'all smile around and find out, honey. I'll talk to you later. Bye.